Hey, it's Jay, and welcome to my review of Toy Story 4. Now, if you're wondering why there's two chairs and why I'm so far over, well, it's because we have a special guest today. He's a fellow YouTuber who's very passionate about movies, much like myself. I've known him for a couple years now, and I'm so excited to have him on. Please welcome Diego Coya. How's it going, man?
Hey, man.
All right, so Diego, how long have you been doing YouTube videos for movies and views like that?
So, my very first YouTube video was actually on New Year's Eve of 2012. Although I've made a lot of videos since then, but a lot of those videos have been deleted. But I got back again sometime in like the past year and a half. I started doing podcasts and started getting back on YouTube for doing reviews. So, I've technically been on YouTube since 2012.
All right, see, he's a lot more seasoned than me. So the reason why I wanted Diego on is because there's actually a funny story about Toy Story 4. When it was being hyped and buzzed, Diego and I were actually very against Toy Story 4 because we thought that Toy Story 3 was the perfect way to conclude such a great franchise. So we felt that Toy Story 4 just wasn't really necessary or anything like that. So we would see ads for it, and we're just like, oh God, it doesn't feel right. And then Diego saw it before me, and I was like, okay, you gotta let me know how it is. And then he messaged me and he was like, dude, like, you have to see it. Like, this movie is very necessary. And I was like, all right. And I went to go see it, and boy, was I wrong. And I'll admit that I was wrong. I was very, very wrong about this film. So let's get into just a basic plot summary about the movie. Well, we won't keep it too long since I have a collab. I don't want to focus on the plot so much. I want to, focus on our thoughts. So basically, the film centers around the toys as they transition to the new kid that Andy gave the toys to in the last film, Bonnie. And just how they're coping with her growing up and going to kindergarten. And it's mainly a story about Woody, kind of.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Kind of, coming to terms as to maybe being that toy that starts to get forgotten before the rest of them. And it's a really great character study on Woody, who, we all know Woody. I don't think there's a single person who doesn't know who Woody is. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And of course we have, Forky, the creation of Forky, who's kind of like Bonnie's coping mechanism because she has a kind of a tough time in kindergarten. And so she makes Forky out of, some trash, and it becomes like I said, like kind of her security blanket. But Forky doesn't really understand, what it means to be a toy. All he understands is, being trash. That's why he keeps saying trash, and trying to jump into the trash. He doesn't really understand the responsibility he has as a toy to make sure that Bonnie's happy and make sure that Bonnie's, secure and feels, content with such a big transition. Because obviously none of us remember our first day of kindergarten, but I'm sure it was just as stressful being, doing a brand new thing like that. So, yeah, there's the doll Gabby, who is kind of a misunderstood toy because her voice box is broken, because she's like an older model doll. She's not like the newer dolls we have nowadays. And she just wants a voice box so she can be loved by a child. And we'll get into like who she is in terms of like the story later in the review portion, but from the way it makes it seem, she's the main villain of the film. But like again, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's it. And the ending is very emotional. I almost started to cry a little bit, because
it's very emotional.
It's very impactful, but it's also very strong and very cool.
It's very satisfying. It's similar to Toy Story 3's ending in terms of how emotional you would get. Personally, for me, I was more affected by Toy Story 3 because, and I'll tell you why, because I grew up with the first two films. And when I say I grew up with the first two films, I mean I would watch them on repeat like all the time. And then the third one came out when I was graduating middle school. So yeah, it's not really the same as Andy going off to college, but still, it's like saying goodbye and moving on, which, I mean, even to this day, I've seen Toy Story 3 so many times, and even just watching the ending still gets to me. Yeah. But Toy Story 4, it goes to a very different route. And the way it ends, obviously no spoilers, but I think it's very satisfying. It's emotionally impactful. And honestly, it's, I'll just say it's a perfect ending. That's what I'll say for Toy Story 4.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of people were, from what I've heard, were not too happy with the ending. But for me, I thought it was amazing.
I feel like it's those people who like us, thought that Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending, so they probably weren't going to give Toy Story 4 a chance.
Yeah,
because
No,
the ending I felt was great, and just so you guys know, there will be spoilers in this, but we'll let you know when we're going to start talking about spoilers, so you can click away if you don't want to hear any spoilers or anything like that. No, yeah, I think I agree with you 100%. Toy Story 3 got me way more because I think we've all had to part ways with a toy that, you know, we grew up with, we played with all the time, and it's tough. It's not like, oh, I don't want this anymore and just, you know, get rid of it and, you know, there you go. It's hard because I think departing with anything that's had such a big impact on your life, whether it be a toy, a car, a house, you've had so many memories with these things that departing with it is just, it's rough. Even if you're a college student, you know, who should be at the peak of his maturity, it's tough. Andy's played with these toys for so long, and I can't speak, you know, from your experience. I was born after Toy Story, the first one came out, so I've seen it, yes, but like I didn't really grow up with it since it came out after, you know, I was born. But 2 and 3 I saw, you know, when they came out. But I did also see Toy Story 1. I love these films so much. So yeah, but Toy Story 4 is basically just like them transitioning to Bonnie and also Woody transitioning as to his role as, you know, for his kid. So yeah, let's get into our thoughts of the film. The first thing I want to say is I'm so happy that they showed what happened to Bo Peep, because that was like my biggest question in Toy Story 3. I was like, what happened to Bo Peep? Where is she? Did they just like really just shaft her and not give a reason why? So I'm so happy that they finally showed what happened to Bo Peep, because it's not like Bo Peep was like a small character in the first 2 films.
No. She not like she was given like a lot to do, but she was still pretty important.
Yeah, pretty important,
especially for Woody, who if you've seen the films, you would know she was kind of like a love interest for Woody.
Right.
So having her disappear, to me personally, for the third one, because that's when you realize she's not in the picture anymore, it didn't really bother me too much, because I was like, you know, I guess things happen, people grow up, and there are other toys that get disregarded. And a Toy Story 4, obviously, you get to see what happens, and I was like, okay, this is actually really cool with the way they're going. And for me personally, for Toy Story 4, I think it features the best we've ever seen of Bo Peep's character.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for sure.
Absolutely. I love how she's just like this, you know, doesn't need a kid to be happy. I think that's kind of what Woody starts to understand towards the end, because he sees how, by the way, the spoilers are starting now, so if you wanted to click away, go for it. So, again, like I think he finally sees that Bo Peep's like not restricted by having a kid. She can go on these grand adventures and see these, you know, views, like, you know, from the top of the carousel at the carnival, and just do things like that. And I think Woody kind of is having a tough time coming to terms with being a forgotten toy, because, you know, with Andy, he was always like front and center. He was always
number one.
He was always the lead, you know, obviously until Buzz came, but then, you know, they patched that up. But he was always like the toy that was played with. He was always the toy that was brought on trips. And now he's left in the closet with, like, you know, the has-been toys with like the funniest puns of like the celebrities who voiced them. I'll have to pull them up. It's freaking hilarious. So it's a great study. My only gripe is actually at the end. So at the end, it's Woody finally decides to not go with the rest of the toys and instead stay behind as a lost toy with Bo Peep and a couple other characters. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on their names, but
it's Duke Kaboom.
I know Duke Kaboom, and then
and the 2 characers. But Key and Peele plays them.
Yeah, the Key and Peele. Let's face it, it's Key and Peele.
Yeah,
that might as well be their character names.
Well, the bunny and the duck,
and
and they're really good in the movie too. They're really funny.
Oh God, yeah, and the Dimples cop too.
Oh my God! Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
we'll say Officer's Dimples. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Right. So he decides to stay behind with her. The only thing that really bothered me, kind of, was the fact that Woody and Bullseye's goodbye was so just like not a thing. Like that was what I was like getting ready for. That. I was like, oh no! When Woody says goodbye to Bullseye, I think I'm gonna just start crying, because, you know, Woody and Bullseye are like they're like this. they're so.
I think it's more like Bullseye's like more like that with Woody than Woody is, you know, with Bullseye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Bullseye, I think, was more attached to Woody than Woody. Not that Woody didn't care for him at all. It's just that Bullseye, I think, there's more love on one side than the other.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It didn't deter from the ending. The ending's still beautiful, but I was still kind of just like, oh, really? Just like a couple licks and that's it? But still, I still find it like a great ending. So, what is your opinion on Gabby Gabby?
So, she is quote unquote the villain in this movie, like we said before. But I really love the way they took the direction with her character, because with the first 3 movies, you had a clear villain.
Right.
First one you had Sid, second one you had the Prospector, who is revealed to be the villain at the end. And then
we think it's Zurg, but it's not.
Yeah, and we think it's Zurg, it's not. And then the third one we have Lotso, who gets revealed to be a villain like halfway or towards the halfway.
Probably one
middle.
of the greatest Pixar villains we've ever had.
No, for sure. And all the villains, for me, have been great.
Mm-hmm.
And they set her up to be like this other villain. And the way they made her character go is actually incredible, because she's honestly just misunderstood.
Yes.
So in the beginning, you're like, okay, it's going to be kind of generic, or we've seen this before. But they make her stand out by, having her have this motivation that you understand why she is the way she is. And she just wants to, be played with, because she's never had the opportunity that other toys have had, which is why she wants this voice back. Yeah. The way she did it in the beginning was really the right way. No, I wouldn't say so, but you know what? You understand why she is the way she is. And then they make her character, I think they make her character better by doing that. So I feel like if people were disappointed and, she's just not the villain, I think they're kind of misunderstanding the point.
Yeah.
Because that's not really supposed to be her character trait, to just be this straight up evil villain.
Right.
I thought she was great, though. Who voices her? Do you know?
I'll pull it up while you're...
Well, in any case, the person who voices her does a great job. And, I loved her character. All the new characters, I think, are great. There's not a single weak character, in my opinion. And I have a couple of friends who... One of the complaints they've had about this movie was that a lot of the original characters, that's not Woody or Buzz, basically are just in the RV the whole movie.
Yeah, they're kind of sidetracked, right.
But for me, yes, I mean... So here's the thing. When I went to go see Toy Story 4, I saw it the Thursday night. I went to the marathon, okay? So I saw 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then Child's Play after. So 5 movies in one day. But watching all 4 movies back to back was an incredible experience, because you basically watch the journey that these characters go through back to back. And the thing is, when you're by 4, you understand why they're kind of sidetracked, because in the first 3 movies they've had so much to do,
right?
And plus you have these new characters that are great. They're new characters that I wouldn't mind seeing spin-offs of some of them, and I'm sure they're going to do that with the Disney streaming service that's coming out.
I think Duke Kaboom. I think it's already confirmed.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed, and I think I heard something about Forky. Who is the best character?
Oh, Forky's hilarious.
I think he is, for me, the best new side character.
By the way, Christina Hendricks voices Gabby.
Right, her, yeah, she's great.
Literally, the Duck and Bunny are called Ducky and Bunny.
Okay, all right, cool. So
Giggles McDimples is the cop.
Okay, yeah, Giggles, that was in it. But yeah, all the new characters are great. That's why I didn't mind the whole other character being sidetracked. Because if the characters were unnecessary, weren't good, then I'd be like, I wish we had the other characters to resonate with.
Yeah.
But no, these new characters are great. So it didn't bother me personally in that aspect.
What's with the recent Toy Story movies using horrifying toys as security guards? In Toy Story 3, you had the monkey with the symbols, and now you have those Goosebumps style puppets as security guards. But Gabby actually kind of reminds me of Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, who you think is like the villain, but it's actually just because they want to have a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
Ghost is slowly fading out of existence, and she just wants, to be normal and, live a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that her intentions are malice until you understand why. So it's kind of the same thing here with Gabby. When she first attacks Woody for his voice box, you're going like, oh, here we go. I actually thought that when the girl, Harmony, the girl who she's had her eyes on this entire time she's at this antique shop to be her kid, I thought that when she completely was like, I don't want this toy because, it's an older doll. I thought that she was going to go on like full psychopath mode and like, I'm not letting you leave, like not let Woody leave, not let, kind of like that stereotype. It's like, oh great, now he's going to be trapped there and they're going to leave him leave him in the store, the van's going to leave, it's going to be that stereotype, but I'm so happy they didn't. And I'm so happy the way they handled that. Like, I was ready for it. I was like, oh, no, you were doing so good. Please don't do that stereotype. Please. And then it turned out that, she was just very crushed by that. And I like how they use the symbolism of a lost girl in the carnival to kind of pair her up with Gabby because she's technically she's a lost toy.
No, she is.
She's never had a kid. So it's cool how they had a lost kid and a lost toy. They use that juxtaposition to make them one and make them how things are. And I'm happy that Gabby finally got a kid, because after you see, like Diego said, after you see what her motives were, it wasn't just to ruin someone else's life, it was to better her own, to get a kid. It's like, well, now I'm happy that she got a kid, So I will firmly say that there's really no villain in this film, and I like it that way.
Same. It's fine that there's no villain. And honestly, I don't know if you agree with me, but out of the 4 Toy Story movies, I think this is the funniest.
Oh yeah, no.
This definitely had me laughing the most.
Every time Key and Peele opened their mouth, I was cracking up. When they showed how they were going to get the key, that whole montage where they're going to get the key, and they just like show up at her house, and they raise up next to her bed with like just frozen over eyes of just like murder and rage in her eyes. I could not stop laughing.
Yeah, that part had me
dying.
That
whole segment was because Key and Peele are great comedians, and their voices are coming out of the cutest little, just that in and of itself, just like the 2 cutest stuffed animals, and it's just like, hey, what you doing, man? What you doing? It's like I was just dying the whole time. Every time they opened their mouths, and then you have to say a funny line. Like I was just like, this is great. This is fantastic. How they casted that perfectly. I don't think there's any other duo that could have made that work like Key and Peele could have. But yes, this was definitely the funniest. I 100% agree.
And even like the whole thing with Forky with the whole trash, like he wants to throw himself in the trash in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I feel like on paper you read that and like, okay, this gets monotonous and old, but watching the movie, it does not get old. It gets funny each time.
That whole segment, I was just like. I feel like this is a personal attack. No, I'm just kidding. But it's so funny how it's just like trash, and he just like starts, and the way he walks, he waddles because he only has like 2 little popsicle sticks for like he just like waddles into the trash, and they constantly have to grab him, and it's like the funny, and like Bonnie's always trying to look for him, and they always have to throw him back.
Woody has to like
to where she is. It's so good because you're right. That does sound like if I was to read you a script like. And then Forky attempts to go in the trash 50 times in a segment, you'd be like, okay, that's not going to work. But seeing it is so great. It is hilarious.
And Tony Hale is perfect as the voice of Forky. That's the thing with this movie. Well, all the movies. I think the voice acting for each character is just perfect. Yeah. Like, honestly, can you see anyone else but Tom Hanks play Woody?
No. And if anybody tried, I would sue them. Just I don't know why. Yeah, I wouldn't have a single legal backing. I would just be like, I am suing you for even trying to be.
Yeah, I think in what game is that? I think Kingdom Hearts 3. They have the characters Woody and Buzz, and I'm pretty sure it's not them, not Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, and you can tell the different voice. Right. Like, nah, man, we need Woody and Buzz back.
We need Woody and Buzz. You can't. Yeah. I'm happy that Buzz wasn't sequestered to the van though, because I feel like he kind of needed to be there to help Woody out.
Yeah, for sure.
And the whole inner voice thing.
Oh yeah,
that was funny. So funny. that was great.
And again, didn't get old either.
No,
because he said that quite a bit, and it just never got old.
Yeah.
So I think the writing here is really clever.
Very solid.
The way they write the jokes, and they find a way to have the joke be repeated multiple times, but it doesn't get old.
Yeah, jokes you would think would be like, okay, we get it. But they actually work so well. Like I love the scene where Buzz is contemplating whether to go after Woody or go back to the RV, and every time he presses, his inner voice just keeps saying, get back to the base, that was so funny. It's like he just wants to hear to keep going, but he keeps saying to retreat and go back to the RV. Very clever jokes like that. What else? Because there's so much in this movie that
for all these movies for me never drag. I feel like they're all so fun to watch. And this one in particular it's a blast. From beginning to end, I was into it. I never looked at my watch. I never wondered how much time has passed by because they make you so invested in the story,
Right.
you know, and you're with these characters, and then when the movie's over, you're kind of like, that was it? I kind of wish it was longer.
Yeah.
But
it was kind of short. It did kind of feel
it did feel kind of short. I will say one really cool thing about this and Toy Story 3, both of them are directorial debuts. So, so Josh Cooley, I think is his name. Pretty sure for Toy Story 4. And this is like his first movie.
I'll put the names on the screen.
Yeah, which is absolutely impressive, I think, for like a first movie.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we said this in the very beginning, while Jason was talking about it, how we were very against this movie. I would tell you, I am the one person who said no to Toy Story 4. I did not want this movie.
I said no.
Yeah, low key, I was kind of hoping that this movie would be canceled because I thought the 3 was the perfect ending. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is a cash grab. Don't make this franchise like all the other franchises where you're just milking them out because 3 is the perfect ending and you have 3 perfect movies. I was very skeptical, and even when like the great reviews came in Rotten Tomatoes, like I was somewhat optimistic, but even then I was reserved. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want it. But I went in. I was like, all right. At this point, the only thing the movie can do is surprise me.
Right.
And honestly, for me, it is the most surprising film of the year because I never would have thought that I would have felt the way I feel about Toy Story 4 if you had asked me months or even days before I saw Toy Story 4. I watched it, loved it. Currently, it's my favorite movie of the year, and I say currently because that could very well change. As the year goes on, it could change in 2 weeks when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out.
I can't wait to see that. That looks so good.
Yeah, same. This is really amazing. Another outstanding addition for Pixar. Another outstanding addition to Toy Story 4. And I will say, if they do come out with Toy Story 5 in the next couple of years, I mean, I don't know if they will. We'll see. But if they do, I will be optimistic.
Yeah, I know for a fact I'm not going to...
No, I'm
not going to judge it until I see it.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk bad
I did that with
it.
this one, and I was dead wrong.
Yeah, I know. I regret talking bad. All the things I said, I regret it now.
Me too.
And I will say, like, for the rest of my life, listen, I made the mistake of doubting this movie, of doing a lot of things.
I'm so ready to just apologize and just own up to the fact that I was wrong. I shouldn't have judged this movie until it came out. I also love how this film does a great job of separating itself from the other films as well. I feel like each installment of the Toy Story movies does a great job separating themselves, whether it be the situations that the toys get themselves in, or even the villains. They're also dynamic. You know, Sid is just a very sadistic kid who, tortures toys and, splices them together. So, yeah, he's technically the villain, but is he really? Because he's kind of he's just kind of a twisted kid. In a sense of toys, sure, but, And then you have, the prospector, Stinky Pete, and he's just, honestly, I haven't seen Toy Story 2 in so long. I forgot his motivation for why he wanted to keep Woody.
He wants the old gang. Okay, so he wants the old gang to go to what country is it? It's a country in Europe. I'm pretty sure. But
I'll flash it on screen.
Yeah, but in any case, So Woody has this old show, and he's a very popular character.
I remember that one.
And they want them to be together, and then Woody was like, no, I have to go back to Andy.
Yeah.
And Prospect is like, no, we're all going to stick together. And I love that because it wasn't like, I'm just this evil person who just wants to ruin lives and I'm just evil for the sake of it. They have some sort of motivation. And it's not like you condone their actions, but you kind of understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, each villain has very complex backstories. Because then we have Lotso,
who probably has the most complex.
Who's very just a vengeful toy after being,
heartbroken,
tossed aside like that. And seeing these toys who've lived such a great life with a kid, it's like, well, I don't want that. If I couldn't have that, why the hell should you? Mm-hmm. And that's what makes Lotso so genius as well. Mm-hmm. It's this pink, fluffy bear, and yet he's probably one of the most despicable villains we've ever gotten in any Disney movie, period. For
sure, yeah.
And it's just such great imagery. And then, like I said, Toy Story 4, Gabby's the unofficial villain, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they really do a great job humanizing her, because I think a lot of films who try to humanize their villains sometimes fall flat. And they definitely didn't fall flat on this, because you kind of understand where she's coming from, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's going to be, weird having Woody not have the string, in his voice box and things like that. But
Well, I'm pretty sure if they do Toy Story 5, they're not even going to show Woody.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think Woody will be. Yeah, I don't think Woody would be in Toy Story 5. They'll probably focus on Forky.
Yeah, because I think I remember even Tom Hanks saying that this is like the last time his character is going to be. Mm-hmm. That's why it was so emotional for him.
Yeah, which is depressing. Because it's like, who doesn't love Woody? I think we all had Woody dolls growing up. I had a Woody. I know I did. So it's just, these characters you can't replace. And if I do Toy Story 5, I'll definitely be way more open.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would hate it, but I just making a prediction. If they did do Toy Story 5, I don't think it would be as strong because
probably
without Woody. I'm not saying that a Toy Story would never work without Woody. I'm very open to the idea that Woody's not there because it's always been driven by Woody. So it'd be cool to see who will take the steering wheel after that.
Probably
whether
Buzz,
it be Forky or Buzz. But I just don't know. I don't know. It wouldn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some things where it'd be like, well, it just kind of feel like half empty. I feel kind of empty a little bit without Woody there. Woody's been this character that we've all grown up with and loved, and he's got the great memes. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Toy Story 4, very wrong about my initial opinions on it. Is there anything else you want to cover? Because I think there's so much to this. Oh, how could we not bring up the man, the myth, the legend, Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom?
No, he's great. And what's great about his character, well, a lot of things, but I love what they did with his backstory. So it's kind of like Jesse's backstory, but a twist to it.
Just like the biggest meme of that backstory ever. How he can jump as far as the commercial says he could. So it's like, screw this toy. It's just so great. We take one of the most emotional scenes in Toy Story 4 with the "When She Loved Me" song, showing how the kid grew up, and we just have this half-ass, just 30 seconds of having a toy. You're already done with it. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, no, he is. Keanu Reeves is the man. I mean, this is his year.
Oh yeah, honestly.
No. He has John Wick 3. He has that
Cyberpunk
video game
with
and he's in this Netflix movie. I didn't see it. I think it's called Set It Up, which apparently he's really good in too. And and Toy Story 4. So yeah, it's his year.
And there's apparent talks he's going to join the Eternals or something, some Marvel movie.
Oh right, yeah. I read articles.
They're going to be at Comic-Con, so maybe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe we'll get some news on a movie he could be in.
So okay.
This is definitely the year of the Keanu.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But Keanu Reeves and Duke Kaboom are one and the same in my opinion. I think it's just Keanu Reeves being Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom, because he's just so funny, and the trauma that he faced with not impressing his kid just carries over for the entire movie, and he messes up jumps.
Yeah.
When everyone's like, "Yeah, you can do it. You're the only Duke Kaboom who can do this," and he's like, "Yeah, I can do it," and the second he jumps, he just sees this
Rajan's
horrific,
face.
Rajan's face, just bashing him for not making the distance, and he just fails and just crashes and burns.
I'm sorry, Rajan.
I love how they parodied that. It's just so solid. I can't believe we almost went that entire review without mentioning Duke Kaboom. So I also love Bonnie as a character. You know what I mean?
Oh no, for sure. I was actually talking about it with one of my friends, and I think so far, I know it's a bold statement, but I feel like they did a lot more with her character than with Andy.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, because even in Toy Story 3, we get to see early signs of her being just a very shy person. I mean, the way I saw it, she's very young, and there are a lot of kids who are shy, but in Toy Story 4, you can tell that the first day of kindergarten, she has this sort of anxiety, because that's just how she is. She's a shy person. Nothing wrong with that. But,
no, not at all.
Yeah, but so that's what kind of makes Forky a better character, because it's not he's just there to provide laughs. I mean, yes, he provides a lot of laughs that always hit hard. But his character is actually cool because he's like a coping mechanism for Bonnie.
Yeah.
So it's he has a purpose. It's not like he's just some generic character the writers wrote just for
merchandising and advertising. Because you saw this guy everywhere.
When I saw the teaser, I'm not gonna lie, and I saw him, I'm like, oh god, he's gonna ruin this movie.
He's gonna be like Olaf from Frozen.
Yeah, or Jar Jar Binks from Episode 1.
Oh god. let's not go that far.
Yeah, let's not. No, he's not. He's not. Just to clarify, I thought from the teaser trailer.
I agree with you there, because we all love Andy, but Andy really didn't do much in the first two films. In 3, we see him grow up and, cope with the fact that he has to get rid of the toys since he's going to college. But in the first two films, all we really saw him do was play with the toys.
Yeah.
He never... had any character development like Bonnie trying to make friends and no one's listening to her. You know, when she says hi to that kid and he just comes to take her art supplies, it's like, that's really upsetting. It's like character growth.
And even her parents have more to do than Andy's mom.
Yeah.
You know, like, not like they have so much to do, but like you see more of her father.
Right.
You know, interacting and showing emotions.
Yeah, and showing, kind of helping her understand that, you know, kindergarten, you had to do it. It's going to be tough the first few days, but it'll get better. It'll get easier. I like that too, yeah. It's definitely, like, don't get us wrong. We're not bashing Andy. I don't want you guys to think that we're bashing Andy.
Or his mom.
Yeah, or any of the family members. We're just saying that on a character level and a character growth level, you're right. When, you know, Andy gives the box to Bonnie, she's very hesitant at first, and then Andy starts to play with her, and you know, that's why that scene is so impactful, because Andy's getting to relive his childhood as an adult with a new kid who's going to take good care of his toys. And then we get to see that, you know, apprehension grow when she has to go face school. Sure, she's comfortable playing with all the toys in her room alone, but now that she has to actually go out and be interactive with other children her age, it's tough. And so I like that character growth, but I just don't want you guys to think that we're saying that Andy sucks or anything.
No,
like
not
that.
at all. No.
We think Andy's awesome. It's Andy. Andy's freaking awesome. I mean,
yeah. Now let me ask you something, because Toy Story 3 was nominated for Best Picture as well. Do you think Toy Story 4 would be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards?
I think it definitely deserves to have a nomination.
Yeah, I think it deserves to as well, but I'm asking, like...
If I think it should win.
Yeah, no, not if it should win, but, like, do you think a nomination is going to happen? Because I know they did it with 3. Only in history there have been 3 animated movies nominated for Best Picture. And not to go, like, too off topic, but, like, I do think animation, when done right, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah,
because
I don't think it gets credit.
Because there's some sort of stigma that some people have that there's films and there's animated films. I'm like, no, they're all films.
They're one and the same.
Exactly,
right.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if, since Toy Story 3 got the nomination, if Toy Story 4 will get it. So I'm just...
I think it should.
I think it should too.
I personally think it should. Mm-hmm. I think it should. I think one of the main reasons why it should, not just because it's a fantastic film, but I think it's just as a way to kind of be like, see, to any doubters out there, you know?
Yeah.
Any doubters who, I like to call them Gen 1ers, which is referring to a Pokemon term, to people who can't accept generations after Generation 1. I feel like a lot of people who have non-legit criticisms to this film, if you have a legit criticism of the film, I'll listen. But if you're just saying it's bad because you don't want Toy Story 4, kind of like we were doing, then don't talk to me. I don't want to listen to your opinion. So I'm hoping that come award season, it gets that nomination to just kind of prove that, see, this is a good film and it shouldn't be, you know, put in a category of animated films. It should just be in a category of movies. Yeah. And any doubters out there, I mean, checkmate. Right. I mean, it got nominated for a movie. I'm not saying that should be the only reason why, just to, you know, prove a point.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it'd be a great way to maybe break the mold of the people who refuse to go see it because it's not Toy Stories 1, 2, or 3.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so I hope it does.
Me too.
You know, I hope it does. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen. You never know with the Oscars, honestly. But it's gonna probably win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Mm-hmm. I mean, I say probably because I think right now it's a clear front runner, but Frozen 2 is coming out. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the biggest competition.
Yeah,
so it's between those two.
Because really, what else has come out this year animated that has been that solid?
Like Toy Story 4 level, for me, nothing. I mean, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World I thought was really good. Mm-hmm. That was very solid. Other than that,
yeah, there really hasn't been that many animated films.
No, not really.
Year. I think because Marvel had such a huge presence this year, I think a lot of people are forgetting about everything else that's come out. Because, you know, with Endgame coming out this year, I think that was the biggest buzz that anybody had.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For at least the first half of 2019. It's kind of died down now since it's, you know, on its way to, you know, home release. But I think that kind of just, you know, deterred away from any other films because everyone is so focused on Endgame,
yeah.
Which, I mean, if you're a fan of the MCU, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but we need to look at the whole. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to be a contender for Best Film of the Year because it looks so good, and I can't wait to see it. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to see it together on the Thursday before it comes out, opening night. Because because it looks so interesting. It looks like something we haven't really seen before, you know?
Yeah.
It's just to focus on a dude and his stunt double. So, but we're getting way off topic. Back to Toy Story 4. All in all, if you had any doubts of this film at all, because you're dedicated to the first 3 films, and you don't want anything else, we had that mentality too, and we were dead wrong. So you need to, break out of your shell and go see this film. This is recommendations from both of us, not just one of the others. Both of us are saying, go see this film because you won't regret it. You really won't regret it at all. It's well worth the price of admission from beginning to end. So
yeah, be open-minded. I'm not sure if I'm the one to talk because I was kind of closed-minded before.
Me too.
But you know what? I'm telling.
But that's why we're really saying this now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling the people who haven't seen it and have been against the idea of this movie to please be open-minded because I really think you'll be surprised. And I think you will really like this film too. Because it has all the great qualities that the other 3 have. I mean, I think they're all different.
Oh, very different. Which is amazing.
Yeah, which is great. And I will say there's one thing one little thing I want to add, and that is that the animation is beautiful in this.
Holy crap!
Very photorealistic.
I saw a video on Facebook where it showed the dog from Toy Story 1 and the cat from Toy Story 4, and I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
We've come a long way. Toy Story was the first fully CG movie ever released, and it shows. I'm not knocking Toy Story. How dare I even, I wouldn't even think about knocking Toy Story, but it's just amazing to see how plastic and weird, because let's be honest, Andy's little sister was horrifying in Toy Story 1, and the dog just looked kind of strange because there was no detail to it. It looked like a plastic doll. Yeah. Not a real dog. And the cat looks so realistic. Every hair is just beautiful.
Or even like this in the beginning when it's raining. It looks like real rain.
Yeah.
You can just put your hand and then touch it. Yeah. And it's it's crazy.
And Bo Peep looks a lot more realistic, more porcelain.
Oh yeah, her sheep as well.
Very porcelain. She didn't really look like a porcelain doll in the first film. She looks so like what she is.
Yeah.
I love the gag of her arm getting ripped off constantly, but it's this happens all the time. And I love it. So I think we've gone enough.
Yeah, I think we've covered
Toy Story 4, see it. But first, before we end off this review, it's time to get our final verdicts for the film. So, since Diego, you are the guest, I'll let you go first. I go on a 5-star scale. So let us know what you think of Toy Story 4.
Yeah, for me, Toy Story 4 is a 5 out of 5. It's a perfect movie. The most surprising movie of the year for me, currently, my favorite film of the year so far. It's going to be on my top 10 list of 2019 for sure.
Oh, hands down. I don't even think, even though we're still pretty early in 2019, I don't think anything will knock it out of that. Unless 10 extremely solid films come out until the end of the year. I highly doubt that. So
to me, it's a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love this movie. It's so funny. It's a blast. It has so much heart. It's emotionally satisfying. It's a perfect conclusion for a character that we've seen for over 20 years. Loved it. Can't praise it enough. Toy Story 4, absolutely outstanding and worth checking out in the theaters.
Yep. I'm just going to take it 1/2 star down and give it a 4.5 out of 5. I love this film, but I don't think it really cracked to my 5 yet. Very few films do in my mind because I think there were a couple things that were couple pacing issues, but it's so minor that it's not even worth bringing up. So that's why it's just a slightly down. I'm not saying that Diego's wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying that in my mind it didn't crack 5 for me. I just call it 4.5 out of 5, and yeah, that's all we have to say about that. Make sure you guys stay tuned next week for my 7th favorite film of all time. And make sure you guys subscribe, comment, share with all your friends. Make sure you guys check out Diego. What's your YouTube channel, buddy, so people can subscribe?
So it is my name, Diego Coya. That's Coya. I haven't posted in a while. I will be posting again soon. At least I'm going to try to. But I would appreciate if you guys could check out the content that I have in my channel.
Definitely do. He does top 10 lists. He does all this crazy stuff. His Instagram and his Twitter also. And you also have Facebook, right?
Yes. So my I'm most active on my Instagram movie page, which is Diego the Movie Man. And yeah, I'm active on that, very active. So I always post reactions to movies that I've just seen, or written reviews, or I would share like an article or some movie news that occurred. I'm very active on it, and if you guys could follow me on that on Instagram, Diego the Movie Man, that would be great.
Right. All right. Thank you very much for joining me,
having
Diego.
Me on. Appreciate it.
All right. And until next time, guys. Oh, we're getting the camera here. That's a wrap.